So satisfying. So satisfying. Karma arriving at the doorstep of ICE agents. Sure as the sun rises in the east, karma will come for you if you deserve it.
ICE, ICE, ICE. You're going to love this. This is what they're doing now in Los Angeles to deal with ICE. There are tow truck drivers that are going around, and when they see unmarked cars that are parked illegally in the street, illegally on private property, illegally parked, I guess, where they're not in parking spaces properly on the street or whatever, they're towing them. Isn't that ingenious?
So apparently there's a bunch of tow truck drivers in LA and around where ICE is raiding, and they're following around the ICE vehicles. And the ICE vehicles are often parking illegally so that they can go, kidnap people and drag them into their cars. So the tow truck drivers are following them, and the minute that they park, the tow trucks are towing the ICE vehicles away.
What happens when the people enforcing the law start getting treated by the same rule they expect everyone else to follow? No badges, no authorities, just the law applied equally. Because for a long time, people have been asking, is the system fair or just selective? And now a moment is going viral that has people saying, wait, is this what accountability actually looks like? But here is where it gets interesting, because not everything you see online is exactly what it seems. But before we go deeper and break this down, I want you to watch the clips, viral clips, carefully. Look at what just happened, watch the reaction, pay attention to how people are responding emotionally, because once you see it, you will understand why this is spreading everywhere. Without wasting much time, let's go ahead and watch those clips together. I'll be waiting.
There's a bunch of tow truck drivers in LA and around where ICE is raiding, and they're following around the ICE vehicles. And the ICE vehicles are often parking illegally so that they can go, kidnap people and drag them into their cars. So the tow truck drivers are following them, and the minute that they park, the tow trucks are towing the ICE vehicles away. So that when ICE agents come back, hauling their kidnap victims, their cars are gone. This is the way.
ICE, ICE, ICE. You're going to love this. This is what they're doing now in Los Angeles to deal with ICE. There are tow truck drivers that are going around, and when they see unmarked cars that are parked illegally in the street, illegally on private property, illegally parked, I guess, where they're not in parking spaces properly on the street or whatever, they're towing them. Isn't that ingenious? And they're clearly going to impound the cars. They're going to take them and they're going to impound them. If you've ever dealt with a car being towed, you know what a pain in the butt it is. It's a pain in the butt without all the proper papers. And they make it a pain in the butt so they can charge you several $100s a day to hold it. Isn't that great? Tow truck drivers around the country, you want extra money? Well, if you see ICE unmarked cars parked improperly, and if you're working with the city, as many of you may be, when you can tow cars when they're illegally parked and you tow them off to be impounded, that's a great idea. I think great way to make some extra money and probably help provide some justice here in the country. But I think it's great. But tow truck drivers in Los Angeles are currently doing this, and just wanted to share that out to everybody. I think it's a great idea. What do you think? Love you, my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, and my burned out light bulbs. Let me know. LA tow truck drivers, way to go. Y'all are showing us the way.
So apparently there's a bunch of tow truck drivers in LA and around where ICE is raiding, and they're following around the ICE vehicles. And the ICE vehicles are often parking illegally so that they can go, kidnap people and drag them into their cars. So the tow truck drivers are following them, and the minute that they park, the tow trucks are towing the ICE vehicles away. So that when ICE agents come back, hauling their kidnap victims, their cars are gone. I fully support.
So satisfying. So satisfying. Karma arriving at the doorstep of ICE agents. Sure as the sun rises in the east, karma will come for you if you deserve it. And as soon as they said this about potentially bringing ICE agents into these airports, I said to my wife, Donald Trump is not going to let them wear masks. It's too much of an overreach for him even, and it's going to be a bad look for him. He's going to make them take the masks off because he doesn't give a crap about them or their identities. He just cares about himself, He's going to throw them right under the bus. And sure as the day you were born, I didn't think the masks were appropriate. I said, no masks in the airport, please. Oh, it's great. It's great. And now they're running for their lives from these photographers. Everybody's taking their picture. It's fantastic. Blow up their spot, people. The end is near for ICE. It is. It's the beginning of the end. The Nuremberg trial. With the next administration, we're going to have our own Nuremberg trials. These ICE agents are going to do real time in prison for the civil rights that they violated for so many citizens and non-citizens alike. You're going to do time, and this is just perfect for that. We're getting so much good information and data. Document these people. It's fantastic. You know what's not fantastic, though? My beard's falling out. It's happening. And my hair. I got about a week left, I think. Maybe not even, of having hair. And you're going to see a bald me on here. Beard patchy as hell. But you know why? Karma coming for me.
I never thought this day was going to happen, but I'm here to help ICE. I'm here to help ICE find undocumented workers. And boy, do I know where there's lots of them. You got to go to every Republican congressman and senator's home. And to Trump's home down in Florida. You'll find about 10 dozen down there working in his kitchen, on his golf course. But yeah, go to Republican congressmen and senators' homes. You'll find a bunch there too, cooking their meals, watching their kids, doing the landscaping on their lawns, building nice decks in their backyard, putting in brand new roofs.
Let ICE do their job. That's all they're doing, is doing what they signed up for, taking illegal immigrants and sending them back. That's it. They're literally just doing their job. A lot of families are getting separated. Why are you supporting ICE? Families are getting separated on a daily basis. What? Your family could be next.
What makes me really proud to be Mexican American and be from Southern California is just knowing that ICE cannot come into these neighborhoods without getting their shit rocked. If you have not been living under a rock, then you saw what happened yesterday in downtown LA, and you saw the beginning of what's going to be these large-scale immigration raids that are going to be happening throughout Southern California. And for the folks who don't know, Los Angeles, yes, it's a hub for entertainment, yes, hub for music, all of this. But more than that, culturally speaking, the city is comprised of half Latinos. It is by many metrics considered a minority-majority city, like the state is a minority-majority state. So if ICE thinks they can come into these neighborhoods, into these different localities, municipalities throughout LA County, and expect to not get a response, you're sorely mistaken. And as of right now, they are in Paramount. They're apparently staging something. I don't know what that is. And they are also in Downey, from what I've heard. And if you guys know anything about Paramount or Downey, these are working class Mexican American strongholds. Paramount and Downey being part of Southeast LA, or what folks refer to as Sella. If you guys don't follow me already on Instagram, feel free to head over there. I'm going to be sharing a lot more resources on my Instagram stories. I'm going to try and be posting more consistently with TikTok, but just so you guys know, ICE is in SoCal right now. Stay vigilant.
Boy, Los Angeles tearing ICE ass up. Los Angeles is tearing their asses up. They got those boys barricaded. Them boys are hiding for their lives in Los Angeles. You hear me? I don't know if y'all seen the videos yet, but I just did. Los Angeles is whooping these boys' ass. White folks. This is what the fuck I'm talking about when I say I need to get active. Because the way those ICE agents look, I don't think they coming back there, boy. And to be honest, this is how we gotta treat ICE everywhere they go. Treat them like domestic terrorists, because they are domestic terrorists. That's all they are. We have immigration enforcement shooting folks in the face in the streets of America. Treat these boys like domestic terrorists and walk them to the streets.
I just saw that ICE has reached Northern Bergen of New Jersey, where I'm literally in New Jersey, North Bergen, which is fucking nuts. Never mind, that was a post from February and May. But that doesn't matter because it's not going to stop Trump or ICE from coming back. So if you haven't heard the news, which I don't know how the fuck you wouldn't have, because my mother, who's a Korean immigrant, doesn't understand English, doesn't look at the news, also know. But if you didn't know, Trump is ordering ICE to basically capture all these illegal immigrants and send them back. They're literally showing up at kids' graduations, elementary kids' graduation, and capturing these parents, separating them. What the fuck? And now that I heard that, like, they're in New Jersey, like, they could be 10 minutes away from me. This is fucking crazy. I have this platform, so I'm gonna use it, and I'm just gonna tell you guys to fucking look into it, donate. I'm gonna put my mouth where my money is, and I'm gonna donate. I hope you do as well if you are able to, and speak up about this situation, because
my husband was picked up by ICE this morning on his way to work. It happened at 7 in the morning. They pulled him over. He said it was a bunch of them. And they took him. This happened in Los Angeles, more specifically on Central and 120, around that area. They said he was pulled over. He wasn't driving, he was a passenger, and the guy that he was with, he's a citizen. And they told him, like, we're not doing anything to you, we're here for him. So they very much knew who he was. They knew who they were going for. If anybody has some helpful resources or any immigration lawyers that could help possibly fight his case, please comment it or DM me. I would greatly appreciate it. And also, I just wanted to come on here to spread the word. We had, like, the maps and stuff, and we were very vigilant, kept an eye out. If you know the feeling that you know, we tried to stay on top of that and just keep a lookout, you know, and it still happened. They were obviously tracking him for some days because you know, they knew what car he was in. Yeah, I mean, he called me. He was able to call me for 3 minutes. Right now he's in processing. He keeps calling me from, like, the jail phone, but for some reason it's not accepting my card. And it's not my cards. I called around and they said that it might be that the system's not working, or one guy told me that they're only allowed 2 calls. He's in downtown LA on Los Angeles Street. So if you have experience with something like this, please, if it's me that is doing something wrong, please tell me, because I definitely want to take his calls. It breaks my heart that I can't answer his phone calls. You know, he's able to leave a little message saying who it's from, and he just sounds like he's sad, and he tries to tell me, like, baby, I love you, I miss you, and it just sucks not being able to answer the phone, because right now, more than ever, all I want to do is just be there for him. Because, you know, I could call my mom, I could call The last time that a president deployed the National Guard against the state governor's wishes was in 1965. President Lyndon B. Johnson deployed the National Guard in Alabama to protect civil rights protesters, even though the governor of Alabama, George Wallace, was a segregationist and he was against this. The last time a president has deployed the National Guard, period, was in 1992 by President George H.W. Bush in response to the outrage that followed the Rodney King trial as well as the death of Latasha Harlins in Los Angeles. Trump has deployed at least 300 National Guard troops to LA to, in his words, address the lawlessness, and what he's referring to is the protests that are in result to the ICE raids that are happening in LA. Despite the governor of California, Gavin Newsom's objections to this, as he said, and I quote, that the move was purposefully inflammatory will only escalate tensions, and that it has. Now, as someone with a platform, I feel like it is my obligation to speak on what is happening, because just because it's happening in LA does not mean that it cannot travel to your environment. A lot of people are under the notion that, oh, well, it's not happening to me and it's not happening in my city, so therefore it doesn't affect me. But the thing is, this man has only been in office again for not even a full 6 months. And look at everything that has transpired since he's been in office. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, nowhere near LA, and ICE is authorized to enter Duval County Public Schools here in Jacksonville. They can go into the elementary schools and go and snatch up a first grader if they so feel like. What people don't realize is that ICE cannot conduct things like traffic stops to try to find people to deport. What they do is they go into establishments, they go into businesses, they go into schools and go and pinpoint people. Let me see your documentation status. They're literally discriminating against people and stopping and frisking people based off their color. Black and brown people are not safe in this country. Look at what happened to Kilmar Abriga Garcia. He was wrongfully sent to a maximum security prison in El Salvador, and when the Supreme Court ordered for him to come back, the president literally defied the Supreme Court orders. They ended up bringing Kilmar Abriga Garcia back to the States, and when he came back to the States, you know what they did? They charged him with human trafficking. They dumped fake charges on this man to refuse to acknowledge the fact that they were wrong in sending him. This man is a husband, he's a father, but they do not care. ICE is targeting black and brown people at the orders of our commander-in-chief, who honestly works for us. His salary comes from our taxpayer money. And regardless how someone may feel about how the protesters are acting in California, the protesters are acting like that because they're angry. There are so many people that can't sleep peacefully at night because they're scared that ICE is going to come banging on their door, regardless if they're here legally or not. This is supposed to be the land of the free, and the president is making it the complete opposite.
Breaking down what the fuck is going on TikTok today, what is happening in Los Angeles with ICE right now. So Friday, the ICE started going around and randomly snatching people off the streets, at their jobs, at Home Depot, on the streets, everywhere. Mexicans. Then after that, the people started protesting because like, what the fuck? That's not okay. You can't just snatch people up. These people have been here for years. They're just at their job doing their thing. And so then, because protests broke out, then Donald Trump decided to basically send in the military without asking California. And Governor Newsom was like, you can't do that. Like, you have to ask first. And you asked, and we said no. So basically now Los Angeles is in chaos because this is no longer about ICE and immigration. I mean, it is about that, but it's more about control. How even though California said, don't do this. And remember, California is largely funded by the state itself. They don't really take government money. Like, I mean, they do, but they have their own shit going on. They have their own rules. It's a very blue state. And Donald Trump is just sending the military in to take all these people when their government is not aligned with that because that is not their beliefs and values. My Latino community is suffering right now in Los Angeles. I just want to spread that this is what's happening. I will wake up in the morning and do more detailed breaking down like resources, everything to do. I just got home. I wasn't home all day and I got online to see this, and almost 1 a.m. I have to be up by 5 a.m. But I will clock in tomorrow morning with some resources. But until then, that's what's going on in California and Los Angeles.
So I just woke up. I live in a building where if there's a fire or if anything happens, they tell you through a speaker. And they made 2 announcements today. They said that there was a masked man who was found in the building and that security took them out. We know who those masked men are. I have to take my dogs out to go potty, and now I can't because I just don't feel safe. But I live in LA for anyone who cares. I live in a building where Most of the people are white, black, Asian, very few Hispanics. I do think it's weird though, because when the whole ICE situation was happening, I told the employees, because the employees here are Mexican and Salvadoran, and I told them that if they were not able to run away, to come up and I would let them in my apartment. It's been about 5 or 6 minutes since they made the announcement. And I honestly don't know. I don't know if they took every single person with a mask out of here, because they only said that they only found one. But I'm freaking out, because I'm like, how do I take my dogs to go potty now if they're out?
This morning, ICE followed me into my neighborhood and pulled a gun on me. Right next to my neighborhood is an apartment complex, and there was a bunch of honking, so I went to see what it was, and it was about half a dozen cars following ICE agents who were patrolling the complex, notifying the residents that ICE was outside. ICE then left the complex, and we were all leaving as well. Unfortunately for me, my path to go home was the same as the ICE agents. I'm not gonna lie and say I didn't honk at them as we were driving. This man was brake checking me. He was stopping in the middle of the road. He was trying to cause an accident. We then got to an intersection. He turned left, I went right, and he U-turned to follow me. He was about an inch off my bumper, and I turned into my neighborhood and I pulled over. He pulled up next to me with his window down, a mask up to his eyes, a hat down to his eyebrows, and only a gray hoodie on. There was nothing to distinguish him as ICE. And most notably, there was the barrel of a gun staring at me. He told me to stop following him, at which point I said, "I'm going home, you're following me." He then pulled ahead and got out of his car and approached me. At that point, he did have his ICE gear on, but when he initially pulled up to me, there was no way to distinguish him from the so-called dangerous criminals that they're here to get. I posted the video of my interaction with him right before this. And in there, you'll see that I tell him I'm a citizen, and he says, "I don't care what you are." They don't care who you are. They don't care if you're white. They don't care if you're black. They don't care if you're brown. They don't care if you're a citizen. They don't care if you're an immigrant. They don't care if you voted for Donald Trump. I have lived in Minnesota for 32 years, and I have never felt unsafe here until now.
Now that you have seen what just happened in those clips, let's have a real talk about it, because this situation is bigger than just a tow truck. It's about perception versus reality. A lot of people online are calling this instant karma, but here is the truth. The viral story about ICE vehicles being towed in Las Vegas, it actually started as satire and got exaggerated online. And that's right there tells you something is important. People are not just reacting to what happened, they are reacting to what it represents. Even if this exact viral fashion isn't fully real, the reaction to it is very real. Why? Why is this very real? Because people are tired of feeling like systems are applied differently depending on who you are. When people are authorized figures, when people see authorized authority figures ignoring rules, they then enforcing those same rules strictly on others. It creates frustration, it creates distrust, and moments like this feel or real or exaggerated becomes symbolic. Now, when we come to Black perspective, it comes strong in this aspect because this idea of unequal enforcement, not that's not new to them. Black communities have been pointing out for years that rules are not always applied equally. Accountability is not always consistent, and power often protects itself. So, when people see a moment, real or not, where authority is being held accountability, it resonates not because it's funny, but because it feels like a reversal of a familiar experience. Now let's get comfortable. People love rules until those rules apply to them the same way. People support strict enforcement until they are the one being affected, and suddenly this the conversation changes. Now it's about fairness. Now it's about understanding. Now it's about wait, this is too much. But that energy, that same concern has been voiced by others for a long time. And here is something very deeper. There was actually a real case where a tow truck driver interfered with ICE operation and ended up facing federal charges, which shows you something important. This is not a game. There is this system are serious and action on all sides have consequences. So let me ask you this. Why do moments like this go viral so fast? Is it because of what happened or because of what people feels it represents? Because sometimes a viral story isn't about facts alone, it's about emotion. The situation reveals three things. People crave accountability, people notice double standard, and people react strongly when rules appear reversed. Even when the story is exaggerated, the reaction exposes a deeper truth. Truth is truth in system is being questioned. And at the end of the day, this is not just about eyes, throwing, or one viral clip. It's about fairness, it's about consistency, and it's about how people feel when rules are applied differently. For Black communities, this conversation is not new. For others, this might be the moment where they start paying attention. So when you see headlines of these ICE agents get told by LA truckers instant karma. Don't just focus on whether it happens exactly like that. Ask yourself, why do people want it to be true so badly? Because that answer tells you everything about how people feels right now. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think this is about accountability or just people reacting emotionally to a viral clip? Drop your thoughts in the comment below, and if you want more bold, real, and thought-provoking platform breakdown like this, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video, because on this channel we don't just react to viral clips or viral moments, we break down what they really means. And trust me, that there is always more beneath the surface. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in my next video.